Hello and welcome to episode 36 of Webflail, the podcast dedicated to uncovering the greatest failures behind the greatest webflows, because success often comes after learning from many failures. I'm your host, Jack, and today my guest is Carlos Sepulveda. Carlos is a Webflow animal. You may have seen him compete in the Speed Build Challenge for Webflow Conf, and he also attended it in person. So if you were there, you may have met him. Carlos's background is in graphic design, but transitioned to Webflow development after realizing the power of the tool. More facts about Carlos include that he's Colombian, he's a father of one, he lives in a forest, he has an epic YouTube channel, and he's a hardcore coffee drinker. He's currently working full-time for Nicer Studio based in the States. Carlos, welcome to the Webflow podcast.
Hey, yes, that was really good. Thanks.
I'm really glad. And I'm so intrigued by you living in the forest. Where is this forest?
Okay, sure. Okay, people may know like Bogota, Medellin from Colombia, which are like the main cities, but I live in the very south. I believe that's the most rare and odd spot for being a freelancer that works like internationally. I live in Orito Putumayo. Orito Putumayo is a place that is in the very south. It's just to the border with Ecuador. So I'm just there, and it's a very small town. Actually, you can just walk it through in 15 minutes, something like that.
Wow, amazing. And I saw on your YouTube channel how epic the rains are, because there's YouTube
Yes.
videos where it's just thundering down on your roof. It's crazy.
Yeah, there is so much rain going on. Well, it's a very tropical weather, so you can expect like heavy rains twice a day. So it's very common there.
Mm. But
So
what an
yeah,
amazing place
that
to live. I can't imagine there are
yes, it
too
is.
many Webflowers in your town.
Not many. I believe I'm probably the only one in the full south of the country, maybe.
Is there a big no code movement in Colombia generally?
Well, sadly, I'm not very aware of that. Like, I should be aware of that because, well, it would be fantastic to know how many people is joining it. Actually, it will be like great to know like more people doing it because I really feel alone on that. So if somebody else is watching this, please tweet me or whatever. So it will be really good to meet other Colombians or at least people who is in Colombia that is in the no code movement, especially using Webflow.
Yeah, definitely. But I guess you're encouraging that with your YouTube channel, which is, Spanish speaking, and it's really encouraging for people to get involved with Webflow.
Yeah, well, that's the key point of the YouTube channel. So I decided to create it because I want to somehow help people because I have this constant question all the time like, Carlos, you're doing great. How can I do whatever you are doing right now? So I just tell them, hey, do you know how to make websites? Then some of them say yes, some of the others say no. But the end goal with that is like, okay, if you really want to know what I'm doing, I'm going to record videos about what I do on a daily, well, not daily. It's going to be in a pace that I can afford to do it because I'm really busy and also I don't want to be like doing like clueless videos about random topics. I want to be like following some kind of a strategy in the YouTube channel. But yes, I have like many people that have been asking me like, what can I do to do what you do? So now I have an answer. Hey, just go to my YouTube channel, take your time, and learn it from it.
Yeah,
That's going
and
to be
it's
the goal.
so cool because I don't feel like there are enough, Spanish speaking channels or just native language channels, um, especially in the Webflow space. So it's really, really cool that you've decided to do that, in Spanish. Um, so
Yeah.
can I ask you a little bit about, you were a freelancer, you were crushing it. If I anyone's who's listening, go and check out Carlos's website. There's amazing work there. And now you're working full-time employed for Nicer Studio in the States. So can you talk to us a little bit about, your experience as a freelancer, what made you want to take on a full-time role, and how you're finding it?
Well, okay. So being a freelancer, I done it for around how much would it be? Professionally speaking, it will be 2 to 3 years maybe before becoming an employee, which is up now around 6 months, 6 to 8 months right now. So I I did it okay, but being a freelancer at the beginning, the inertia is really hard because you are not being noticed. So uh, you have to make yourself, well, put yourself in the radar, sorry, for the clients or potential clients. And well, that was really challenging for me. So but after it happens, or after some sparkles of success happen in like the beginning projects or the starting projects, so it became like a word of mouth, and later it just became easy. So but basically it was like me trying to hunt like a good opportunity. um well, back in the day, I just said yes to whatever happened to me. Like, hey, can you do that? Yes. Can you do also this? Yes. So because for me, working remotely from the area that I live, it is a huge deal, especially if you can take the leverage of the buying power of dollars compared to the buying power of Colombian pesos. So to me, like having like a gig or a work that pay me $300 for a week or maybe 2 weeks of work, that was like huge deal. Yeah, I think it, and especially the area where I live, even that's the cost of living is even less than in the main city. So it was a huge deal, but probably because I'm very stubborn and that the kind of guy that never stops. So that's why I probably not going to do it either. So I'm going to get better with time. That's my goal. And also, I really want to be considered and seen as the guy who never stopped, like the guy who made it and who was really resilient and was like just providing good work. And he is a nice uh, dude to work with. So that's the goal.
And then as you said, you struggled to get clients, then you started to get clients, and then things became easy, as you say. So
Mhm.
then why were you like, oh, well, if it's easy, why do I want full-time employment? Or what kind of how did that jump came about?
Okay, financially speaking, it was quite a struggle to have months of very good income. Then the next month it was like, oh, okay, this month is going to be like an empty month. So um, I really feel stressed about that. And probably, I don't know if that was like clinical depression. I don't know, but I really felt really bad in those months that were like, okay, am I good enough? So if I'm good, why people is not hiring me for new projects? So what am I failing at? But I believe that's it when you are a freelancer, that you probably have, let's say, not a strong enough network to provide you enough good projects. And I believe that's a constant struggle for many people. So turning into an agency, it is a tremendous huge deal for me because of the reasons I exposed previously, like working remotely from the area that I work, and the buying power of Colombian pesos compared to US dollars is a huge deal. So having a constant income was something that I was considering later because of these kind of roller coaster months of having and not having income. So having a constant stream has been fantastic because I can do now math and I can do like forecasts about many things in my life, that which was like not the case. I don't feel like that kind of depression or being sad about having bad months. So that was something that I considered, and now it's happening. I work for another agency before, but it was like not much time. It was actually it was two agencies. One that you know, Jack, that I worked with Lucy, and it's a person that you I know. And later I worked for Juice Agency, another great agency, and now I'm doing work for Nicer Studio.
Awesome. I definitely relate to this idea of feast or famine. You kind of, yeah, I got a client, I've got money coming in, and then it's like crickets for the next month. And yeah, I really relate to that feeling of um I guess attaching your self-worth to how much work you're getting. Like if you're getting loads of work, you're like, yes, I am worth it. I'm good at what I do. And then when you don't, you're suddenly like, wait, I'm useless. I'm a loser. And it's really hard to kind of detach your self-worth from from how many people want to work with you at one time. But I mean, a lot of people who were freelancers, they talk about the freedom, they talk about being able to work from anywhere and stuff. Um, and then when you're employed, you need to clock on at 9 and clock off at 5. And, there's a lot of differences and maybe slightly less freedom in other areas of your life. Do you feel like you've transitioned okay from freelancing to full time work?
Actually, I cannot think enough how happy or how good it is working at Nicer Studio. Like I have, let's say, yeah, I have to clock the things because yes, it is a company, and yes, we have responsibilities, and yes, we have clients, or like the expectations from clients that are really high. Um, but also, the agency, well, the studio is flexible enough to give you free days, to give you free time when you need it. Like, hey, Carlos, if you are not feeling like working today, just skip the day. That's fine. If you need to travel, just do it. But just let us know, like with a decent amount of time. So that was really cool. So I feel really, really free right now working, especially because, well, I do agency work from my remote place in Colombia. So it is kind of the same. Like working as a freelancer is, yeah, you have to be more constant at work, but I have the complete freedom about just taking the laptop and move to another place if I need to. So I love that. And actually, uh, having to work from 9 to 5 is easier because you can account that and just plan your day, basically. So I really feel like free about that.
Okay, let's hope that your boss from Nicer Studio is listening because that is a glowing review. But yeah, that's really nice that you have the same feeling of freedom that you had as a freelancer, but you have that consistent cash flow and you have a team of people that you can talk to and,
Oh
kind
yes,
of
yes.
develop friendships with, learn from, collaborate with. That must be a really nice part of working in the studio as well.
You just said, like, if I have like a struggle, I don't have to struggle with my just by my own. Like, hey, Carlos, what do you think about the solution that we can implement to that website? And like, me talking to me myself. Now I can ask, okay, hey, there's some colleagues that I constantly work with. Is one of them is Robert. So, hey, Robert, we need this JavaScript. Boom, there is JavaScript. Okay, thank you. Just saved me like tons of time today.
Oh, what a hero.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's really cool.
so there are more resources, which is something really nice. You have more people, like amazing people. You have more resources, and everything is more solid. But probably, I'm saying this because probably I did it in the wrong way when I was a freelancer solopreneur. But yeah, that could be the case.
Yeah, I definitely think having a really strong network, even as a freelancer, is so important. But I do think there's this strange pride that freelancers have where it's like, no, I'm a freelancer. Like I'm not employed by someone, and I don't really understand why there's this kind of mindset of
Mhm.
superiority when you're a freelancer. But it sounds like from what you're saying, being employed just suits you better right now in your life. And there's nothing less about being employed full time than being a freelancer. But what do you think about that?
Well, actually, I think about like, well, the opposite probably. My mindset was the opposite. Like, if you're a freelancer, oh man, you are in, you are grinding like nobody else. But if you're an employee, okay, you're more chill. But what if the company is great? What if you work, I don't know, you are the graphic designer or the product or the director, the creative director at Tesla or something like that. So is it that better than being a freelancer? So what if the company that you work with is amazing? So you can just take the pride of that,
Yeah,
be proud of that
definitely.
as well. So
Definitely.
how
Yeah.
that's how I feel like. I feel like great doing what I do right now.
Awesome. And I also think it's worth saying that like some people really suit freelancing and some people don't at whatever time in their life. Like maybe actually full-time employment just suits them so much better as well. So I think that's another really important thing to say. But yeah, I mean, I can imagine being like a product designer at Tesla would be a pretty interesting job. And it's probably kind of well paid, I'd imagine. Okay, let's get into your failures then. I think none of these failures have been talked about on the podcast so far, so I'm excited to get into them. Tell me about failure number one, struggling to be visible.
Yes. Okay. So um, probably this comes because I wasn't prepared at all for what I was probably anticipating. So basically, the question initially was, how can I work online? Like, how can I make uh, a job or to have a job online? So I wasn't working for, hey, how can I do Webflow? Hey, how can I do, I don't know, copywriting? How can I do graphic design online? The question was really ambiguous at the beginning, like, was how can I work online? Like, probably there are many people working, oh, sorry, searching in YouTube or Google, how can I make some money online? Basically, just like that. So not having a strategy was really hard because I was shooting everywhere. Like, it was like a spread search, trying to hunt something. So I just, I learned that, well, with time and with some reading, like, if you shoot like a shotgun, you're going to miss your objective. But if you just snipe something with a precision rifle, you're going to hit really strong. So uh, probably that was the lack of a strategy that I had at the beginning. So I didn't know what to do, what to learn. But okay, so just to keep in mind, if you relate that, to me, it's a good win or a big uh, step up just by working remotely from the area that I work. Everything was okay. But then I was realizing that good opportunities require a strategy at the end. So I was realizing that in a very slow motion pace, like I was just moving very slow until I realized, okay, I learned this. Now I need to level up somehow to another position because I was, like you mentioned, okay, now I see new things. Those are like probably overwhelming, but if I just eliminate the noise around that new thing that I'm going to be learning and know where I'm going with that, it's going to be at the end a more powerful outcome. So just to put it in practice, okay, at the beginning, I was trying to do um, video editing services, like as a freelancer. Let's call it freelancer. I tried that in freelancer.com, Then I moved to Upwork. In Upwork, I did PowerPoint presentations. And in PowerPoint presentations, I helped a lot of companies just to pitch their new idea to the world, basically. So I learned a lot of kind of businesses. And then being in Upwork, I realized that web design was really interesting to me, and web development also was a more interesting niche as well, or an industry, a higher paying industry. So I moved to web design. So those steps require uh, a learning uh, a learning curve in each of those steps. Like being a video editor now, okay, you have to know very well Adobe Premiere. Then I moved to PowerPoint. Well, people consider PowerPoint or take for granted that PowerPoint it is easy, but it is not easy at all. It is another design tool if you use it well. Pardon me. And then web design. Web design is any universe is. Oh my gosh, it's so much. You can just do even an easy thing or go in the I don't know, like the fancy way and do something mind blowing if you want to. So, like applying the correct strategies to be successful in those niches was hard to me, really hard, a lot of struggle. But I learned so much from each of them, and now um, being visible also in each of those was part of the strategy. Okay, so what are clients expecting from you as a video editor, as a PowerPoint presentation specialist, as a web designer, web development? So basically, you have to apply strategies to be visible to them, like how people can trust you immediately in the niche that you are working at. So yeah, basically that was a constant struggle. So I need to prepare like different portfolio strategies per niche, and it requires a lot of digging, a lot of research. But if you apply like the correct strategies, then you are going to be visible somehow. So in my case, what I do for Webflow was like, okay, you have to get into communities. That's one of the steps. Then you have to create a decent portfolio, which, well, my portfolio is not very good. Let's say I probably that's one of the scenes or that many webflowers have, like their portfolio doesn't reflect the reality at all. Um, and also you have to uh, communicate very fast what you do, like having your LinkedIn profile to be clear about what you do, upload content about what you do, probably explain in a video the strategies that you use for um, the niche that you are trying to be visible at. And in my case, like participating in tournaments is also another strategy. So it happened recently in San Francisco at the Webflow Speed Build Challenge. So you don't have to be like questioning like what I'm going to do. No, there is so much that you can do, but it is like how are you going to be visible to your clients who are they are going to trust you. So if people ask me, do you know Webflow? I can say, yeah, you can. Well, I just participated in the Webflow Speed Build Challenge, so they're going, okay, yeah, he knows. So um, so there are many things, many activities that you can put into work in the different niches that you are. Yep. So
Sorry, I cut you off there?
no. I just finished that.
Okay, wait. I need to just say back to you what you just said to me because there's tons to pick up on there. Okay, so you were doing video editing to start with, then you were doing PowerPoint editing, and then you moved to web design, and obviously from web design, web development in Webflow. But
Mhm.
you essentially had kind of all these different potential ways of making money, and as a result, you were spreading yourself quite thinly. And people didn't really know like what you were particularly good at because you had all these different skill sets. And then
Yep.
when you settled on Webflow, you were like, okay, this is the thing that I want to be known for and visible for. So then you say join communities, you made your portfolio, and you started to be more active online. So creating content, messaging people on LinkedIn, and also taking part in tournaments where you had quite a lot of visibility. But I think that's really interesting that your journey has not been like, okay, I'm going to do Webflow now. It was like, I am just going to try and make money online. How do I make money online? Okay, there's like 100 ways of doing it. I'm just going to try out different things until you landed on Webflow. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. That was not linear at all. I try many things, and well, actually, one of the strategies is implied on what you said, like how people are going to. Well, actually, I have emails and I have like some other leads that are all coming to me, like, "Hey, man, I need this PowerPoint presentation." Like nowadays, I just received like last week, and I just told him, like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I moved to web design, web development. Do you know about Webflow?" And then I just message him like what I did, like I just pitch him what I do. Basically it was like, okay, that's really interesting, so I'm going to consider you. I'm going to tag you in my network, like you are the waffle guy for us. So when I was deciding, or when I decided to move into Webflow, I did my homework and I emailed all of my clients like saying, hey, I stopped doing PowerPoint, I'm going to move to Webflow. This is ABCD. This is what Webflow does. This is my new portfolio. If you want this kind of service, please let me know. And guess what? Some of the clients reply like, hey, I need that. So basically, if you build your network, use it.
And that's
Message people.
interesting as well, because your network actually came from just all your different things that you tried. Like it wasn't your Webflow network, it was just your general work network. And then you messaged and said, look, I've changed. I want to be known for Webflow. This is what I offer, and this is all that I offer now. And you got work from that. That's really, really powerful.
Yeah. So if you have a network, use it. Don't just, you know, don't consider your email box as a void box just to receive things. Just use it as well. You have many contacts there, many potential clients on that. Don't be spammy, don't be, don't be weird. Just be real. Just like, again, put in your clients or potential clients shoes, like what they want to know. Like, hey, do they want to receive a very respectful and polite email where you're explaining what you're doing right now? If they don't reply, that's okay, that's expected, but at least you let them know what you're doing now. So that was a good move.
Yeah. I think a lot of people overlook this. They're like, how do I get clients? Who do you know? And then can you reach out to the people that you are already liked, known, and trusted by? Whether that's family members, whether that's past colleagues, whether that's anyone. It's actually so simple, but I think it's really, really powerful, and a lot of people overlook it. They're like, how do I get clients? And the answer is literally in their email, like contacts list. Um,
Yeah, you have tons, like thousands of email addresses there. And
mm,
actually, that another thing that people can do is, well, it just sums up to action. Like if you basically put in your social media, I do Webflow, people are going to laugh. People are going to, uh, support you. Some other people is not going to support you. But at the end, people know that you do Webflow, which is the important part. So, well, I'm just saying because probably Facebook is not the social media that you are going to be using for, you know, making a workflow network or a potential pool of uh, leads for your potential clients. But use it. That's the powerful part about social media. Like you can communicate as fast as you hit submit, basically.
yeah. I love this idea about you know, you don't need to have like a crazy tactic to get clients. Like actually, when you're starting out, just reach out to your contacts that already know and like you and trust
Exactly.
you. I think it's so
If
powerful.
you have a, if you have like, I don't know, probably that's something that's realistic, like 1,000 email addresses. You know, if 1% reaches you, isn't it like 100 or something like that?
Mm. It's
Sorry.
wild. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that would be 10%, 100, wouldn't it? 100
Sorry.
of a
Yeah,
thousand.
10%. Yeah, it will be 10 or 10
But
potential
say
clients.
10 clients a year, and you're sorted. Yeah. I realize that we're coming up to the hour, Carlos. So should we stop the recording now? And what we can do, I know we've only got through one failure, but I feel like that was a really, really powerful segment that we did. And maybe what we could do is set up another call and just kind of go straight into failure number 2. Is that all right?
Oh, that's fine. I mean, yeah, there is no rush on this, so we can just stop the episode there. I thought that what I just told you right now is that what I want to communicate with people in the YouTube channel. So that's people is constantly asking me like, hey, what can I do? But the answers are so simple. Like just take action in these areas, and eventually something's going to happen.
Taking action is such powerful advice that a lot of people, they're like, yeah, I got to take action. Actually, though, so many people just get advice, or they'll see how someone else has had success, and they know they know how they've got the success that they've got, and then those people don't necessarily take action. And I think just taking action. Also, any of the jobs that you've done in the past, whether you've been making burritos or making making PowerPoints for people, like they're all people that know, like, and trust you. That's all potential people to work with. And so I think people get so hung up on like, no, I don't have any Webflow. My Webflow network's not very big and stuff. Actually, just your network generally is your Webflow network. Like those are people. People need help with web design and web development generally. You can reach out to them. And
Yeah,
yeah,
especially if you're starting, like if your expectations are not very high, like just do it. Do it that
yeah,
in that manner. Like reaching out your email list. Well, I use it. I call it very much the email list, but using it and having potential clients could be like not very high paying tiers or high paying clients, but at least it's a good review that you can use later, or it's a word of mouth later.
amen. And if they're a good client, then good clients know good clients. So keep those people close. Okay, Carlos, I realize that you need to go. Sorry, I'm doing the podcast still, and you're just like, Jack, we said we'd end it. I'll message you, and yeah, we can sort out another second half of the episode. Is that all right?
Yeah, let's do that. Could be next Friday as well.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'll send you a message straight after, and then we can lock that in and do this again. It's lush chatting to you. I think you've got so much good stuff to share, and I'm really glad that we can actually do another second half. Weirdly, but yeah. Anyway, have a great day, man, and best of luck. All right.
Same to you, Yax. I appreciate this a lot.
Hey, I appreciate you, Carlos. Have a great day.
Yeah.